How to go to a bar alone. So this video from Gent Z. Apparently, this is a thing where Gen Z or whoever are having trouble figuring out how to go to a bar alone, how to go out by yourself, how to do things by yourself. And I'm a bit shocked. I'm a bit perplexed. This video came across my timeline. I have lived in New Orleans, Louisiana for over 3 years now. And I can tell you this, I have gone to a bar by myself hundreds of times. It's one of the greatest things in the world. It is fantastic. I've gone to upscale bars by myself. I've gone to dive bars by myself, whatever. It is a beautiful thing, but I have a feeling this intro or this tutorial of how to go to a bar alone is going to get it wrong. So a lot of people think that going to the bar alone means cosplaying James Bond or cosplaying Don Draper. That's not it at all. So I'm going to try and walk you through how to go to a bar alone for anyone who stumbles upon this video.
A solo drink at the bar used to be a safe place for a man. It's great to go with your friends or with your...
Okay, see, I can already tell you right now. I can already tell you right now, this ain't it. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody's cosplaying. Everybody thinks that you got to be, a famous actor or something, or you got to, get up to the bar and order a dirty martini or an old fashioned and tip your cap and wrinkle the newspaper and all this other stuff and have all these one-liners. Guys, it's nothing glamorous about it, okay? There's nothing beautiful about it. There's certainly not a knit tie in sight. There's certainly not a houndstooth blazer. None of that's happening. You roll up, you have a drink, you don't say a damn word, you enjoy yourself, you're trying to get away from whatever, 12-hour shift, who knows what's going on. And that's it. That's it. You don't have to drop pearls of wisdom. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to be dressed. You can wear a hat. You can wear a Birkenstocks. You can wear a jean, whatever. You're having a drink. It's one of the most time-honored traditions ever. It's just you, yourself, and the booze. You, yourself, and the hooch. That's it. Simple. Nothing scary about it. Nothing worrisome about it.
Your girl, but it used to be an accepted part of life that sometimes you'd find yourself alone at the bar. Sadly, this has become a lost art. And although it's romanticized,
it's not art. These hombres, well, this hombre over here, this hombre by himself, there's nothing artistic about this. He's having a damn drink. That's it. He stumbled in here. He's letting one rip, having a few, and he's going to stumble back home and fall asleep on the couch. That's what life's all about.
In paintings and TV shows, the truth is, most young guys these days simply don't have the confidence to go to a bar alone.
Good
But in
Lord.
this video, I'm going to tell you why you should try going to a bar by yourself. I'll tell you how to pick the right kind of bar, strike up conversations.
Do not do that. Here's the right kind of bar. One that's serving, one that's open. Beyond that, cool. There is no conversation. If I've gone to a bar by myself 300 times, you know how many conversations I've had? Meaningful conversations? 0. That's it. Because I'm not there to talk to anybody. I've got friends. All right? I'm not, it's not speed dating. I'm not there to have a conversation. I don't want to have a conversation. All right? I don't want to talk to strangers. It's not why I'm at the bar. I'm not there snapping my fingers like Sinatra or something. I'm sitting there. I'm a recluse. I'm a hermit in the corner. I'm doing whatever I want to do, whether it's watch the game if they have a TV, or look at Twitter, or just sometimes disassociate and stare off into space. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
I turn strangers into friends and discover a whole new social scene. So you might be wondering, why would you go to a bar by yourself?
Because you want a drink. Because you have had a horrific day, or because you're tired, or because you're stressed. And you know what would be nice right now? A Negroni. You know what would be nice right now? An old-fashioned. You know what would be nice right now? A beer, a cold beer. You know what would be nice right now? A high noon. It doesn't even matter. Bloody Mary, whatever. Mimosa, screwdriver, it is what it is. Because of that. Because the game's on. I need to get out of the house. It's a nice night, nice day. I'm going to walk down the street, have a drink. I would like a drink. I don't want to make a drink, or I don't have what it takes to make a drink. So I'm going to go down to the bar and get one. Same reason you'd go to the same reason you go to a restaurant and get a po' boy, or a sandwich, or a whatever, sushi. Why do you want to get the sushi? Because you're hungry. It's that easy. It's hungry. I don't have sushi at the house.
Isn't that sad? Well, I discovered the art of going to a bar alone when I was traveling in America solo for the first time. I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and the main thing to do in
Good place to
Nashville
do
is
it. Let me tell you this too. If you travel for work, drinking by yourself at the bar of the hotel or an airport is like the best part. The best part of going on a work trip and staying at a hotel is, hey, the conference is over. Cool. I'm going to walk on over to that bar right there. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to have 3 or 4 drinks. I'm going to stumble on back to the room and go to sleep. That's the best thing in the world.
is to go to bars. I discovered that I could only listen to so much country music in one day, so I decided to check out this local speakeasy called the Red Phone Booth. It's a members-only bar, but my navy blazer-wearing 23-year-old self talked himself in and took a seat at the bar alone for the first time ever.
I can't tell if this is a parody or not. I'm starting to feel like it's a parody. A lot of speakeasy talk, the music in the background, the 23-year-old smooth-talking, silver-tongued devil. I'm starting to think I'm getting tricked.
Next thing you know, I'm talking to a guy who's playing a show tomorrow and needs a guitar player. Well, guess who ends up playing that show tomorrow? Many drams of Redbreast Irish whiskey, and my first cigar ever later, I ask for my bar tab. Turns out the lady I'd been talking to earlier has already paid it. I began to realize that certain bars are not just a place to drink.
There's no way this happened, right? There's no way this guy got into a speakeasy, members-only drinking thing, somehow played a concert the next night, simultaneously got his bar tab paid for. I mean, I just have a hard time believing that's possible. Am I getting tricked?
They are a community. I've recently moved to a new city and have found that going to a bar by yourself is a great way to meet people and make new friends. And when spending time alone, it's a fun way to roll the dice on your own evening and open yourself up to new experiences.
That part is true. That is one of the things that I like the most. When I moved to New Orleans, I moved downtown, lived downtown New Orleans, and for the first year and a half, that was like one of my, like what I did the most is I would go explore the city. I would go try new restaurants. I would go try new whatever, whether it was the museum or a park or a show or a concert or whatever it is. I just wanted to explore the city, understand what's around me, understand how things work. So sometimes that would mean going to a bar by yourself, and some bars are different. Some bars are a dive bar and you get a beer. Some bars are a classier upscale bar. Sometimes you get a cocktail depending on what you want. So that part is definitely true. If you move to a new city, you're in a new area, especially a walkable city. Going to bars and going to explore by yourself is good because you're under no pressure there's no pressure with time. There's no pressure with conversation. There's no pressure with any of that stuff. It's just you and yourself. So that is a great way to have like a, do your own adventure kind of night.
But just sitting at any old bar, looking at your phone, is not going to get you anywhere. So let's learn how to...
It will get you somewhere. It'll probably get you where you want to be. If where you want to be is slightly buzzed and enjoying your night, that's a great way to go. I mean, that's a great way to go about it. Like that is a fast track to that, is sitting at the bar by yourself, listening to music, looking at your phone.
To master the art of solo drinking. The first step is to find the right kind of bar. And what kind of bar is right for you will depend totally on your personality.
Yeah, it'll depend on what you want to do. I mean, that part is true, I guess, as well. If you want to go to a bar that is showing the game, where like, hey, it's Tuesday, 6:30, a game's coming on, I know this bar will have the game. So, no, that it's one thing, because if you want to go watch the game and you go to a bar with no TV, you're not going to have a good time, right? Same thing with the drinks. Let's say you're a big martini guy and you want a martini and you're craving a dirty martini. You don't want to go to a dive bar that they have no clue how to make a martini, or it's just they're used to just serving beer on tap, and then you walk in there asking for a martini. They serve it to you in a plastic cup. You don't want that either, right? So same thing with music. If you go to a bar and you want to listen to live music, you better know they have live music. Some bars don't. Some bars have they play like more of like club music, some play jazz, so you got to figure that out too. So those are the things that you definitely need to know what the bar's got for you. You got to know what the drink menu's like, what they're good at serving. You got to know the TV situation, and then you got to know the music situation. Those are probably the 3 big things as far as understanding what the right bar is for you.
If you're a big sports guy, you love talking to people about sports, then yeah, a sports bar is going to be a good choice for you. For me, there couldn't be much of a worse environment. I'm a low-key guy. I like quiet places that are a little upscale, have good cocktails, and where people dress nice. So I typically look for a speakeasy bar or a smoking bar. And yes, there are still bars in the US where you can smoke. I was both shocked and delighted when I found that out for the first time. Whatever bar you choose, you need somewhere where you can actually sit at the bar. This is much more common in the
Yeah, you definitely want that. I mean, obviously, I didn't think that was... You definitely want to go to a bar where you can sit down. You definitely... And I would say that too, sit at the bar. If you're by yourself, that's the whole point of going to the bar, is you sit there, you sit at the bar, you sit up front and personal. If you got to take your drink and go sit at a table by yourself or something, that sucks. Don't do that. So you want a bar where you can absolutely sit down.
United States. Sitting at a table by yourself is nowhere near the same thing. It used to be fairly common that you could sit at the bar at British pubs, but COVID sadly killed that off. In the UK and Europe, it will generally be American-style speak-easy bars where you can do this. Alternatively, go to a restaurant where you can sit at the bar.
Yeah, restaurant bars are... I'm also including that. I would say 80%... Probably 95% of the bars that I'm talking about are either restaurants with a bar or like hotel bars. Like just a straight up bar, that's going to be harder to find, because a straight up bar is more than likely going, at least in America, is more than likely going to be kind of like a club scene, kind of like a nightlife kind of scene. And that's not really what you're looking for. So I would, more than likely you're looking for a restaurant bar or like a hotel lobby bar kind of thing. But if it's just strictly just a bar like that, you're probably going to be enjoying Rumplemint shots as they play Chief Keef.
I often like to have dinner when I'm by myself, because if it turns out that it's not a great place, then you can just enjoy your meal and move on to the next one. When it comes to the exact seat you take at the bar, you ought to be strategic about this. Sometimes there will only be one seat left and you just have to take it. But if you have a choice, don't sit in the corner, because then you can only talk to people on one side of you.
You ain't going to talk to anybody. I'll tell you that. You know a great place, like this guy mentioned talking sports. You know a great place to go talk sports? Reddit, Twitter, Facebook. Don't go walking into a bar and expect that you're going to become friends with everyone and talk to everybody. That's just going to piss people off. That's just going to make you the creepy guy that's talking to everybody. Why are you talking to everybody? So if you're doing a seat selection, corner is great. Obviously, you want a good view of the TV if you're watching the game. Also, be mindful of the seats around you. So if there's like, if all the seats are open, you don't want to take the second to last seat on the end, because then there's only like the one seat at the end becomes just a one person thing. So take the seat at the end, because if two people walk in, three people walk in, they need all the seats. You want them to be able to sit together. So try not to break that up. Try and maneuver yourself strategically to where you're not, or if it's like that and you do break it up, and then three people walk in and you moving over one allows them to sit together, do that. Be cordial. But don't sit somewhere that you think you can talk to people. Don't sit in the middle and be like, oh, perfect, I can sit in the middle this way. I can talk to 10 people this way. I can talk to 10 people this way. I can talk to the bartender.
And not the other. Somewhere near the center will give you a good vantage point and opportunities to talk to different people.
Exactly.
And if there's room, it's good etiquette to leave a one-seat gap between yourself and the next party.
Same rules as a urinal. I mean, urinal rules apply. If you have the opportunity to have a seat gap in between you and the next person, give them a seat gap.
One seat is not too much distance for you to talk, and if you do end up talking, then they might move up or invite you to do so. Now, the main reason you want to go to a bar alone is to meet new people.
Wrong. The main reason is to catch a buzz. That's what life's all about. You're going there to catch a buzz, maybe get some food, maybe watch the game. Those are the big three things. Starting a conversation is one of the last things you want to do. It's just a horrific time for everybody. Some random stranger in a knit tie who smells like cigarette smoke and cigar smoke or whatever comes and saddles up next to you and wants to talk. You've just been at a conference for 8 hours at a hotel in the middle of Nashville, and you finally get out of your conference, strategy planning. You finally get a second to yourself, and this silver-tongued devil wants to talk your ear off. That's the worst, absolute worst case scenario. I mean, that makes you want to get up and go to another bar. That's absolutely just disastrous. If you are at a bar and someone asks you a question, give them a nice, simple, end of conversation answer. Man, the Saints are going to suck this year, huh? Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They'll be all right. That's it. Cut it off. You and this person, y'all aren't friends. They're a stranger, all right? What are y'all going to do? Exchange numbers? Go play pickleball? No, that's not going to happen. Just keep your eyes forward. Keep your hands, just like a roller coaster. Everything on the ride. Don't get too wild out there. Don't go trying to start conversations. Don't do that, especially in certain cities. You do that in the wrong city, it's not going to be pretty. So be careful out there. Do not do this. Allow someone to talk to you first. If you're there, if you're a single gentleman or lady, and someone approaches you flirtatiously and you want to flirt back, sure, that's a totally different conversation. But I would not just try and strike up a conversation with the entire bar. Otherwise, you're going to be everyone's least favorite person at that bar.
You never know if you're going to be the one who strikes up a conversation first, or if...
Including the bartender. Let me say this too. The bartender's job is not to entertain you. The bartender's job is not to be your best friend. The bartender's job is not to answer your life questions. That's in movies. The bartender's job is to serve you drinks. That's it. I was at a bar last weekend. Went down there to watch the first half of a basketball game. Bar like 2 blocks off of where I live. Relative, like a neighborhood bar, whatever. Went there to get a beer. It was on Cinco de Mayo, now that I think about it. I was the only person in there. Walked in, got a Modelo, was watching the game right at the TV. Time of my life. Bartender didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. I was watching the game. They understood the assignment. Another fellow walks in. He sits down. It's a female bartender. He's firing off 21 questions. I mean, it's a first date type scenario. He's asking her, where are you from? What movies do you like? What are you doing this weekend? What a million different things. And it's like, my man, you understand that she's here. Like, she can't leave. She's here because she's employed. She is not here waiting for you to arrive to hit her with 40 questions. Like that is, you wouldn't want someone to do that to you at your job. Like, where do you work? If you're watching this video, if you work in accounting, how would you like some stranger to walk up to your cube and be like, so where are you from? It's like, I'm at work. Like, what is going on here? Can I help you? How about you just order a drink and we can take it step by step.
Others do it with you. But if you want people to talk to you, you've got to look like you're open to socialization. The number one sign that tells people, don't talk to me, is staring at your phone. So when you're at the bar, you're not going to scroll, you're not going to watch videos.
Disassociate. Don't watch videos. I mean, unless you have AirPods or something. But disassociate, sit at the bar, look up, disassociate, look at something, whether it's a TV, look at the bar or the bottles in the back of the bar, whatever. Just kind of stare off into nothingness. Disassociate and stare off into nothingness. That's the best I can tell you. I mean, I can't wait to hear what he says about opening yourself up to conversation.
Your phone is going to stay in your pocket, and you can just look straight ahead of you and think. I know this sounds like a completely crazy thing to do today.
That's perfect.
But what do you think people did with themselves since the dawn of time up till about 15 years ago?
Bring a
just
book,
exist. It's okay.
Exist. Perfect.
And if you can do your best to not have a total resting bitch face, people are going to notice that you're by yourself and want to talk with you.
No, they're not.
What if nobody does start talking with you?
Great
Well, there are a few different methods you can use to open up a conversation at the bar. An easy opener is to begin talking with the bartender.
See? Huge problem. It's not what the bartender's there for. Bartender's there to tend bar. Serve drinks, clean glasses. That's it. It's not to... I mean, it just isn't the move. It's not the move.
Bartender is the host of the bar, and in many ways the conductor of the social scene. Plus, they are being paid to be friendly to you.
No, they're not.
They might possibly be bored, and they'll know the other regulars in the bar, which will come in handy later. You can ask them their name, comment on something they're wearing, or ask them what are the best cocktails in the house.
Don't do that either. Here's another tip. If you're going to go to the bar, know what you're going to drink. I can't stand people who walk in there and they're like, what's good? What do you like to drink? What do you like? What do you mean? What I like to drink? I'm not ordering. I'm working. You're here. What do you want? And the worst thing is asking for samples. Asking for a sample of beer, asking for a sample of whatever. Just order the drink. Order your drink. That's it. Don't get crazy. Like understanding your way around the bar is so important. Walking in there, not knowing what the hell you're going to order, not knowing what you want, all that stuff is a mess. It's a real mess. If you don't know, look at the drafts. Look at the drafts, the beers on draft, and just pick one. Just randomly pick one. I'll take number 3. And then just drink it. If you don't like it, move on to number 2, move on to number 4, whatever. Try something else. But, asking the bartender a million questions, like they're busy. Like they're trying to take care of 10 different people at the bar, being like, oh, what's the best thing y'all got? Oh, what do you like? What would you recommend? We have a menu for a reason. Just pick one. If you never had something, get crazy. Flip a coin.
And not only does this open you up to conversations, but it also signals to the other people in the bar that you're a friendly guy who's up for being social. For example, I was recently at a smoking bar and I asked the bartender, if there were any other places in the city where you were allowed to smoke. The guy next to me overheard this and started recommending a bunch of bars to me, and that's how we began our conversation for the night. The next alternative is to start a conversation with another drinker in the bar. Look for clues that they might be open to it, for example, if they're by themselves and looking at the wall. Or maybe it's a group that you've already noticed are inviting others into their conversation. A good conversation starter is simply an observation about something in the bar, something they're wearing that's interesting, or perhaps a unique drink that they're having. And remember, if you're well dressed, they're more likely to be the ones that start the conversation with you, because it creates a sense of interest.
Now, let me make this clear. You don't have to be a Grinch, all right? Like, if someone's got a drink and it's some crazy drink you've never seen before or whatever, it's okay to be like, what is that? I might get that. Like, it's okay to ask a question. It's okay to say, hey, is there any more smoking bars in the city? Or like, hey, I'm not from here. Where would I go to get blank? Like, that's totally fine. Like, that is 100% acceptable. What's not acceptable is to turn to your right, see some random person by themselves, and be like, hey, man, what's your favorite movie? It's like, brother, I'm not about to do this. Like, that's not acceptable. If you're just like the organic back and forth kind of situation, totally fine. Again, if there's a game on TV and you're like, I cannot believe that call, and the guy next to you says, yeah, man, that was holding. And you can certainly be like, yep, that, continue the conversation. But there's a fine line between that and going there to try and be the class favorite of the bar. Because I'm going to tell you right now, no one cares. Nobody cares. No one's there to make friends. No one's there to do this. So that's, I guess, where me and the Pompadour differ.
Naturally, they will have questions about you. Once you've found a good bar where you like the atmosphere, you like the drinks, you like the people, it's a good idea to become a regular. While it's great to try new places also, there are a lot of advantages to becoming a regular. You'll become a member of a community, so when you go to that bar in future, you'll know there will be people there who are happy to see you and you can catch up. You'll also get better treatment from the bartenders, and it starts to feel like a private members club.
If you live near a bar or you go to a bar a lot and you are a regular, it is definitely beneficial to tip the bartenders well, know who the bartenders are, recognize them. And that is good because it does get you better service. There's a bar I go to all the time where I'm a regular, whatever. I know the bartenders, like I know their names, say hi, all that stuff. And, like I can change, it's easier for me to change the channels on the TV to the game I want. Sometimes they'll just give us the remote, let us do it ourselves. We can kind of stay a little bit later, while they're cleaning up. We want to finish the game. That's cool. But that did not happen with me going in there and being like, "Hey, bartender, what's your story? Where are you from?" Like, it didn't start with that. It was just an organic thing. That is exactly what I was talking about 25 minutes ago with this like cosplaying thing. Why it looks so cool when you're watching Sinatra or whoever, like these guys who you think of when you go to a bar, is because it's organic. It's just, they're just at a bar. Whatever happens, happens. Like there's no itinerary. There's no playbook. There's no blueprint. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. You're just there. You're just enjoying yourself, and whatever happens, happens. If somebody talks to you, fine. If someone doesn't, fine. If the more you force anything, the worse it's going to be. 100%. And a lot of what, like I said, what the Pompadour is talking about is forcing things. Going in there with a strategy, going in there with a playbook, going in there with a mindset, going in there with all this, have to do this, can't do that, whatever. Like, you just go in there. Do you exist? It's the same as your living room, right? Like, that's a good way to practice. A good way to practice is after work, head on down to the store, get a 6-pack or get you, whatever you want to drink. Have a couple of drinks by yourself. Right at the house, knock them down. That's a great way to practice this, because it just lets you sit, do you, and not be caught up in what's happening around you. It's really the exact same thing. You're just seated in a row.
So while not every bar is going to be like that, you can normally tell which ones are by the kind of people that are in there and the way the bartenders interact with the crowd. Much like dressing well, having the confidence to go to a bar alone and enjoy that is somewhat of a lost art. But
being alone or enjoying yourself alone is definitely a lost art, because people are so afraid to be alone, because people are so afraid to have a thought. People are so afraid to just be sitting there with their thoughts. People don't know how to live without being distracted. People have to be distracted via TikTok or Instagram or a person talking to them or whatever. Sitting in silence is absolutely shocking for people. I mean, I went to a couple Pelicans games, a couple basketball games, NBA basketball games alone, totally fine, and really enjoyed myself. I've gone to movies alone, totally fine, really enjoyed myself. Restaurants, bars, whatever, art museums, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong about it. It's kind of funny because when I actually Googled, because I saw this on my phone, I saw this video pop up, and I was like, ooh, I want to react to that. So then I Googled it to pull it up on where my studio. And the images that came up were like all these like sad guy at bar, loner at bar, lonely guy at bar, sad guy at bar. So we're like conditioned to believe that being alone makes you lonely. And that's not the case. You can choose to be alone, or you can prefer to be alone for a moment or whatever. I'm not saying to live alone. Like, I'm not saying live like your life like a recluse, but it's okay just to sit. It's okay to relax, sit, chill, just exist. That's the whole thing. But just existing is very different than going into a bar trying to be Don Draper.
I hope that next time you find yourself solo in a new town or looking to make new friends, you come back to the ideas that I shared in this video. I want to hear from you all in the comments. Have you ever been to a bar by yourself? How did it go? Was it a positive experience? Was it a negative?
All right, so there you go. So yeah, I mean, I didn't realize this was a lost art. I didn't realize that a generation was having trouble with this. I didn't realize that this was a thing. So I'm glad to have imparted some wisdom on what to do here. So yeah, go in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this, and any questions about drinking alone or going to a bar or whatever else. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world. I'm all for bringing it back. I didn't realize we were losing it. I really didn't. But I'm glad that we're. Man, this is the most sterile apartment I think I've ever seen. But thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you in the next video.